Um, I'm D.H. Robinson, and I will be quite critical of the new president, as people who've frequented the Tangible Bookstore readings know. I was wanting to mention the RFK, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the problem that we have with him and with the bird flu coming, but I'm going to remove this mask because of course it looks terrible. But just be aware of that, and that if there is bird flu and we have RFK as head of the Health and Human Services organization, that's going to be very dangerous. Now, we have had, in addition to the national tragedy on the January 20th, as you all know what that is, we had 2 plane crashes, national tragedies, recently. So I'm going to title this Our Mournful Condition. I was working on a few mournful rhymes, if only to comment for history on these crazy times. Sadly, this activist poet of current events finds himself humbled by the most recent presents. A national tragedy, the Challenger death toll times 10. That's the one where 67 people have died because the helicopter crashed into a airplane that was landing. It should never been anywhere close to it, but it's just the stupidity. This national tragedy was twisted, most despicably, by the worst of men, who says it somehow has been caused by DEI. Really? While the country is mourning the poor souls who did die through the clear stupidity of the copter pilot, male and white, not handicapped, trans, or gay. Well, Trump should just keep out of sight. Or perhaps, dare we ask, did Trump have a woman he meant? Well, it wasn't a woman. None of the people who could have contributed to the tragedy were women. Anyway, let's define DEI. How about dedicated, educated, intelligent? And for Trump, DEI means disastrous, extreme insurrectionist, or despicable and extremely ignorant. Well, that's the gist. His latest outrage, how can anybody keep count? Musk wants $6 trillion. Yes, that's the amount. The Treasury Department records nearly all the transactions. To look at them. What the F? For what devious machinations? After SpaceX blew up, spewing down toxic debris, he may be going after Social Security. And what damage could he do with Doge incompetence? Well, maybe there's worse. Now that Kash Patel is showing true malevolence, a sucking up rascal focused on simple hate and so-called revenge, puts names on an enemy slate. Senator Klobuchar asked the devious Kash. She said, "Facts matter." He answered back, "Just trash." Another senator ripped him, the ridiculous guy, for saying he would shut down the main office of the FBI. Even before the vote on this worthless Kash, the order was sent out, cruel as a sadist lash. It appears that Trump will the FBI decimate. At least 10% removal is their fate. All because of a MAGA purity test. Many were on an assigned task and simply did their best. Just touching a January 6th rioters case taints a loyal agent. So we've come to this place. They believed sincerely in the law and order system and got effed up in this fascistic schism. Now there may be one hopeful silver lining. These fired FBI agents' their thoughts may do some redefining. Maybe they could become part of the resistance to this. At least those that have a little common sense. A similar thing is going on at DOJ. The Department of Justice. Similar things going on at DOJ. Everything's got to be done in Leader Trump's way. Even before he gets installed, his lackey Pam, he's setting out to make that place a sham. Any employee or prosecutor not loyal to Trump is getting thrown out on their lunch. Hey, hello, weaver of revenge designing plots. These people being fired have legal skills. Lots. They can bring on the lawsuits. They know how, okay? Mr. Trump, your decline really begins this day. You've made unforced errors, you orange-skinned freak. See how many filings you have at the end of the week, next week. Speaking of legal questions, there is crypto, Donald Trump's new scam. He thought he'd have a go at this new thing, a so-called meme coin. Though it's worthless, mega clowns line up to join the Give Trump My Money for Nothing club of dummies. Well, they want to give it to him so as they please. To wrap up, I'll a few more lines opine. Democrats, for God's sake, get a freaking spine. And everybody look at Greg Palast's website. He thinks the election was rigged, and I think he's right.